Mario Bros, the first time we ever got to see more flesh and blood of the family. After the success of Donkey Kong, Miyamoto decided to go at it again and see if he could recapture the magic. And in 1983, we got the result. Nicknamed Pipeline, we would see Mario this time in the sewers, not a construction site, where nasty googlies like to hide. But a year later, it was cleaned up a little bit, and now the Ninja Turtles take it as their home. Considering that Mario Bros released the year of the video game market crash, it should be held that it was a pretty good success. Even in the darkest of times, a fat, middle-aged man can comfort us. Well, not every middle-aged man, though. My dad knows what I mean. But, hey, hold on a second. Bros, that's a number more than one. Yeah, other than Space Duel, Mario Bros might have been one of the first multiplayer arcade games. Too bad I can't clone myself. Let's get cracking. We start with a cutscene showing the basics of the game itself. No opening cinematic this time. Guess it didn't take too long for Mario games to stop caring about the story. In the game now, and our lack of mid-air control returns from Donkey Kong, although now it's on a much bigger scale, so it's way more noticeable. You either move at full speed or not move at all. Mario also switched from Yeezys to Tims, because now he skids when coming to a stop. You can also screen wrap, which is handy. The game consists of baddies coming out of the pipes at the top, where you have to hit them from below, causing them to flip over, and then taking them off the screen. And when you kill an enemy, you have a chance of collecting a bonus gold coin. You also have this POW block at your disposal, which will knock everything on screen. As the game progresses, more enemies and obstacles show up to ruin your job. At first, you start with humble turtles, but then you're dealing with crabs who take 2 hits, flies that actively avoid the ground, and wads of ice that freeze the floor when you leave them be. It causes your traction to become piss poor. One handy thing is that if you're not fully paying attention, a unique sound for every enemy plays when they emerge from a pipe. And then there are the fireballs, which appear out of thin air and force you to move around. You can't stand to wait for long without one of these spawning in. Worst of all, if you bonk an enemy and leave them there for a bit, they'll get back up and move faster than before. This happens to the last enemy in the field too. Once you kill everything else, this dude turns off cruise control. Long story short, if you hate being overwhelmed, don't play this game. Guys, what's going on? Because, sweet lord, this is difficult. Harder than Donkey Kong? Probably. Harder than Donkey Kong Jr.? What are you talking about? Don't make jokes like that. It's really hard, y'all. I know the POW block is supposed to alleviate some of this stress, but when it's that powerful, I end up overthinking it and not using it at all. It's like a gem. It belongs in a museum. My grubby hands will just shrink the reset, but yeah, I'm dead. Goodness gracious. If you want to follow in my footsteps and play this, let me heed you some important advice. 1. Don't get greedy and run after money as crabs gang up on you. 2. Always direct your position to the top layer. This way, the green fireballs will always spawn up there, giving you ample time to bonk enemies who loop around. 3. Kill the flies whenever possible. They show their fangs at the worst possible outcomes. And for the love of Luigi, don't destroy the red fireballs, because it comes back and, oh god, why? It's so fast and it'll rip your life away in seconds. Personally, I have a weird phenomenon when playing this game. Usually if I die once, I'm dying multiple times afterwards too. I have yet to not have waves of consecutive failures. And sometimes I die from the stupidest things, which only makes it more painful when you only have 3 lives to start. You do get extra lives through earning points though. Every so often you'll come across a bonus stage where you usually net yourself one. But good luck holding on to it! No! It's evident that after playing solo my whole life, this game was meant for 2 players. But right now, it seems like my luck in finding someone isn't prosperous. Maybe I can just make a Tinder profile asking for someone to play Mario Bros with me. But until I can grow the guts to do that, I'm stuck as one, sir. Did I mention this game was fun? Yeah, I like it. Love it, in fact. I've returned to it multiple times ever since I've gotten my hands on it. I'd say it's more addicting than its predecessor. It's deceptively simple on the outside, but once you get strapped in and get good, you want to keep going. Even though you're always in the same level layout, I'd argue that the content in this passes Donkey Kong in plenty of ways. I recommend checking it out. It's on the Switch eShop for about $8. Arcade Archives, give it a shot. Mario Bros. Succeeds in expanding on the frantic nature of the last game whilst being special in its own right. And I'm sure playing it with a buddy would be more fun. Even though reviews were mixed, I enjoy it. Nintendo enjoyed it too because they also ported it to the Famicom. Already noticing a pattern here. Oh hey, title music. Already noticing a pattern here. but the game takes sacrifices to be able to run on this hardware. Already noticing a pattern. Although, not really in the gameplay this time, more so the visuals. My footage doesn't run at a perfect 60 FPS here, so you'll be able to see it prominently. Whoa, the crabs are half missing. Yeah, the Famicom evidently wasn't too powerful, so to compensate, the enemy sprites were made to be much smaller and would flicker constantly. And at lower frame rates, the result is half off, half price. The turtles don't even do the cute animation where they kick their shells. And the most cardinal sin of them all, they made the slip ice have the same sound effect as the coin when it comes out of a pipe. Real quick, I want to mention that most of these early NES games had Game A's and Game B's. Game B was usually a harder version, in this case, more fireballs and faster enemies. Without Game B, this probably would have been really easy, but with it, it was harder than the original. Guys, you have to trust me. The green fireball started appearing in the first phase. Usually they don't even come around until 3 or 4. That was a wake-up call. And all the cutscenes are missing, so new players would just have to learn how to deal with these new threats. Generally, this port is pretty accurate when it comes to control and gameplay, and the graphics are the only factor that got compromised. Although, it was compromised by a large margin. Well, let's see how the Shift to Game & Watch is shaped up to be. Again, for convenience, I'm going to be playing the 3rd collection on Game Boy. Okay, we got something here. It's completely different from the source material, so let me go over it. Mario and his brother Luigi now work in a factory making packages. You have to control both of them at the same time, making sure they line up to grab the package and place it on the next conveyor belt. You load up the truck 8 at a time, rinse and repeat until you screw up enough times for your boss to fire you. I'll admit that this is actually pretty fun. This is what early video games on the go should all be. Even in this really primitive state, I still got some hype moments. Whew, that was close. No weird choices were made to heavily crush the original game down to a weird mess. It was made from the ground up, and I respect it. This is something I could really get behind. It's really fun. And that's it for all the versions of Mario Bros. I have to say, even though we're only 2 entries in, they just keep What? Yeah, what about it? Oh. Really? Okay, sure, I'll take a look. Okay, so apparently 10 years after the original release, only in Europe, Mario Bros. On NES was given another shot. Huh. No title music. We're not off to a good start. I mean, it's accurate to the arcade release, but why? Okay, let's get into it, I guess. Hey, the cutscenes, they're back. Wow, okay, threw me for a loop there. Everything has been fixed, too. All the flickering, the size of enemies, it's all correct now. The turtles even do the funny animation again. But that's not even the biggest thing about this port. You're not ready for this. Watch. Oh my god. Mario can move in the air. This is a game changer. And with Game B, it's almost like it doesn't even matter because the game becomes almost as hard as the original. It's beautiful. And once you get far enough in... Whoa, icicles? Are these in the original? Yeah, they are. I guess I just never got that far. And these are no joke either. You really have to pay attention now. This version might be better than the arcade one, because Mario's added mid-air control really butters up the gameplay. And yes, I'm aware that we passed by a bunch of games that already made this control a household name, but still, it's really good. It just sucks that I can't properly own this copy without paying for a PAL NES. I had to emulate it. Which I hate admitting to because I feel icky to have to do it, but I really didn't have a choice. I'm still holding out hope for Mother 3, though. You can't convince me otherwise. Okay. And that's it for all the versions of Mario Bros. I have to say, even though we're only 2 entries in, they just keep getting better in my opinion. But, how will Mario's next adventure compare? I suppose we should check that out. See ya.